You're absolutely right. I mean, seriously, let's talk about it. You got these people who are using their huge platforms talking about they aren't going to vote for Joe Biden, or they don't know if they're going to vote for Joe Biden, or they're down in my comment section whining about having to choose between the lesser of two evils, or whining about voting for Joe Biden, or saying that they're not going to vote for Joe Biden. Not only do I view these people as short-sighted, I view these people as self-centered. Yesterday, when I talked about how important voting was, I said that if Donald Trump is voted back into office in 2024, that it will be their 1776. Let me expound on that. In 1776, there were no voting rights. There were no civil rights. In 1776, only white men were allowed to vote. Black people were enslaved. Therefore, they had no rights. They were not voting. We were property. We were treated inhumanely and barbarically. We were considered 3/5 of a person because we weren't free. Donald Trump gets back into office, you better believe that we will no longer be considered as a free people. Hell, we're not really all free now. I mean, let's not forget that Mitch McConnell told us when he stood up in front of the cameras at that press conference and didn't include black people when he used the term Americans. Black people and Americans. That's what he said. So they've already told us how they view black people. And you got black people talking about they're not voting for Joe Biden. Let's talk about women's rights. Women, you weren't able to vote in 1776. You too were considered property. You didn't have the freedom to do all that you're doing now. If you want to purchase something of a high dollar value, you have to get permission from your husband. That's how it worked back in 1776. If you talk too much, your husband could legally muzzle you. Yeah, it was an iron face mask that covered the entire head, and he had the key. And there would be this contraption that would go inside of your mouth to keep your mouth closed. Either that, or he would just beat the shit out of you. And all of that was legal in 1776. Forget abortion rights. You didn't have the right to freely move about without permission from your husband. Just think about all of us who are property owners. Black people, white women. Yeah, back in 1776, you weren't allowed to buy property, let alone own property. Right. Like I said, we were property. LGBTQIA rights? Yeah, back in 1776, society was for white men. And all of y'all that's running around here talking about that, you're not going to vote because of what's going on over in the Middle East. I understand. I'm disgusted as well. But I'm focused on doing what I need to do for this country that I live in. I suggest you get your head out of the clouds and start to focus on what's really going on in this country. November 2024 will soon be here. Life as we know it is on the line. Vote blue. Vote for democracy. And that means voting for Joe Biden.